Murphy Brown is back in town, Mondays at 9 on CKCO TV. From CKCO TV News, the Ontario Report.
Good evening, I'm Janine Graspan. It was the 20th anniversary of Earth Day, but the first time it's really been commemorated in Canada. There were a number of events in Waterloo region, but as Frank Lynn reports, not all of them were planned.
The environmentalist approach to saving the planet is to think globally and act locally. That's why these canoeists loaded blue recycling boxes into their canoes in Cambridge for a trip downriver to Paris. They plan to clean up garbage along the riverbank.
The Grand River is on the books to be declared Canada's newest heritage river. It'll be the first one that's kind of developed in Canada. It's not a white northern fur trader river. It's a developed river, has some pollution problems, but it's a heritage river, and we're highlighting this and I guess an all-out desire to save what's left of our remnant natural heritage here in southern Ontario.
8-year-old Heather McFarlane and her brother have learned an Earth Day lesson about how precious water is and how easily it can be polluted. Normally, they'd be playing in the pond on their parents' farm, but sludge runoff from a neighboring farm has turned their pond brown.
We used to catch frogs and stuff in the water and have fun, and then when it was time to go in, we used to just put them back in the water.
The Environment Ministry has ordered the farmer involved to stop spraying sludge near the creek, but it will be some time before the pond clears up. At the University of Waterloo, films, displays, and seminars marked Earth Day. The university has an earth science department and is a leader with its Groundwater Research Institute. It's also the scene of some politicking, as John Main and several friends are signing up members for a local chapter of the Green Party. The party wants to run environmentally conscious candidates in local elections because Maine doesn't believe traditional political parties understand environmental concerns.
I don't think they've got the message. We're in the next line of major development as development spreads out from Metro Toronto, and I think the time is now to make some real hard decisions, good decisions for the environment.
And when Earth Day is over, there will still be many examples of why we have to clean up the planet. In Kitchener, Frank Lynn, CKCO TV News.
While Earth Day has drawn the attention of newfound environmentalists around the world, it's the kids who seem to be paying the most attention. Steve Simic went back to public school for an afternoon to find out what today's children are thinking.
It's Friday afternoon. Earth Day is 2 days away, and the topic of discussion in this grade 5 and 6 science class is the environment.
How do you think you'll feel? Will you be worrying about your career if you can't drink the water?
No.
Will you worry about...
The response is good as the teacher fires off the questions. Dundas Central Public School is actively involved in recycling and encouraging good environmental practice. And as Greg Ardren says, it's a sign of the times.
And, as I tell them, the whole world is now becoming involved in this idea. And, I don't think of a time in history when the whole world has agreed on anything, but we're all agreeing on the environment. So I think that message to them all of a sudden has a little more meaning.
And that message has hit home, as evidenced by a sampling of the afternoon's assignment, a written essay on any topic dealing with the environment.
Big, bright flowers, waterfalls, fresh air, and no pollution. It's called dreamland. Stinky, smelly, polluted air with gassy, oily towns. That's called the future.
I miss being able to lay on the sand and jump up and then run right into the water. Why do you think there are so many fish on the beach? I think it's because of all the pollution that goes into Lake Erie.
Just look at the Hamilton Bay. That's disgusting.
Plum Point and other fine camps will be ruined, all because we can't recycle and stop throwing our garbage in the ground. I bet you would miss your family camp, wouldn't you?
And if we clean up, it will be a better world.
All we have to do is clean up our street, parks, or even our backyards, or we can even plant some trees on Earth Day. All we have to do is make a difference. That's all. So please, make a difference.
Steve Simic, CKCO TV News.
Organizers called it the first of its kind in the country, a walkathon for AIDS research and education, organized by a group called Unorganized. Over 200 people took part in the rally and 10K walk. While most similar projects are put together by committees, this one was started up by just a few individuals.
One of the major goals of this walk is not just to raise money, it's to show other communities that they don't have to wait for organizations to start it, that we can do it ourselves, that we can get the people out, and we can show that this definitely is a community that cares.
Among the participants was Federal Minister of Health Perrin Beatty. He stressed the importance of such grassroots events, especially in smaller communities where there are no AIDS awareness organizations. Some of the money raised from the walk will go to an aid program in Zambia. For young children and their parents, Binghamton Park was the place to be for an afternoon of playtime. The annual Children's Kaleidoscope Show was held this weekend with activities geared toward fun and education. Booths such as this Safety Village gave children a chance to make learning a fun experience. Fans of Romper Room were able to meet Miss Fran in person. There were toys galore with puzzles and books of every kind. For those who were tired of trying to keep up with Simon Says, there were opportunities to see real snakes or pet a baby chick. There were lots of things to do.
We want to raise the quality of family time together. There's a lot of free things. There are some things that cost, but the majority of the things are free.
Continuing mild with a good chance of some fog overnight and perhaps a shower by morning. I'll have the details in just a few minutes.
I'm Dr. Dean Adele. Maybe there really is a psychological difference between the sexes.
Coming up in sports, NHL playoff action from St. Louis and from Inglewood, California.
I'm Barry Cullen. GM has done it again. 10.9 financing on over 20 models. Chevy Lumina, Cavalier, Corsica, Beretta, Sprint, Old Cutlass Supreme, Sierra, compact vans and pickups and full-size pickups. 10.9 financing is available at all GM dealers, but only we can offer exclusive regional dealer selection and pricing at Barry Cullen Chevrolet's Cadillac in that Guelph Auto Mall.
Barry Cullen's got it, the regional edge for you.
Get the regional edge with the regional dealer.
With 30 acres of action, the power of fun is Sports World. Spring sporting good times begin at two spectacular 18-hole mini golf courses. Hit a long drive or a line drive at North America's largest indoor driving range. Take a spin on the 2/3 mile Formula One go-kart track. The power of fun continues 7 days a week at Sports World.
Join in the fun. Come on, join in the fun. Join in the fun, everybody.
Exit Highway 8 East at the 401 Kitchener.
There's peaches and fruit and...
Oh, I know. It's fruit and... Oh, it's good and has all these luscious pieces. Sing it again.
It's peaches and fruit and...
With all these pieces, it's easy to forget.
You're gonna love it just for the taste.
It's a peachy way to enjoy plump raisins, crunchy almonds, and crispy whole wheat flakes. It's peachy post-fruit and fiber cereal.
I knew that.
Tastes so good, you forget the fiber.
You're gonna love it just for the taste.
Smile, Canada! Wednesday, April 25th is McHappy Day, the day everyone comes to McDonald's for a Big Mac. Because for every Big Mac sold, $1 goes to help Ronald McDonald Children's Charities of Canada and local children's charities. McHappy Day is a special day. Local personalities help out behind the counter.
Get his autograph.
Join the fun. Wednesday, April 25th. Have a Big Mac and help some terrific kids. Smile, Canada. McHappy Day, the day we all work together.
London police called a press conference tonight to make a grim announcement. A female body has been discovered in a farm field. So far, there's no positive identification, but authorities have notified the family of a missing Mississauga woman. Laverne Atkinson reports.
A female body was found here today around 3:30 this afternoon. The owner of this farm discovered it on his lot. That's 18 kilometers away from where Linda Shaw's car turned up. Police issued a statement earlier this evening.
An unidentified female body has been found at Lot 17, Concession 1, North Dorchester Township. I know that the media will be speculating with regards to identity. The identity of the body has not been determined at this point.
The discovery of the body coincides with the search for a missing Mississauga woman. Linda Shaw was last seen going into this Burger King restaurant along the 401 just west of Woodstock at 12:30 on Monday, April 16th. On Tuesday morning, her 1989 Dodge Shadow was found just up the road on the westbound shoulder of the 401. The car's tires had been changed and the rear window was smashed in.
There will be an autopsy performed in the morning, and until that time, we don't have any other information with respect to the body.
The family of Linda Shaw has been notified that a body has been found, although they're not being brought in to identify it. Autopsy results are expected to be released later this week. In London, Laverne Atkinson, CKCO TV News.
One of Ontario's longest-running public inquiries resumes tomorrow. The Coulter inquiry into the running of the Niagara Regional Police Force was in its 16th month when it was last adjourned March 5th. Critics say the $6 million probe seems absolutely endless. Well, today marks the 75th anniversary of the Armenian genocide. Waterloo Region Armenians joined in with their fellow communities around the world and held a commemoration. We have this report.
Here at the Armenian Community Center in Cambridge, family and friends came out to remember a tragedy of their forefathers. The guest speaker for the afternoon felt it was important for them to reflect on their tragic history.
Today, 1.5 million Armenians were killed, massacred, exported from their country, from their fatherlands, where they lived about 3,000 years, developing one of the most peculiar and rich and tremendous culture.
According to Saruzian, in 1915, Armenians wanted autonomy. The Turkish government was opposed to this and began exporting and exterminating them. To this day, there are no Armenians in Armenia, and the Turkish government has refused to acknowledge the genocide.
It is in the interest of the Turkish people as well as the Armenians, as well as all the people in the world, to bring some solution, some peaceful and just solution to this problem, because nobody can ask anymore some 6 million Armenian people to shut their mouth and listen.
In Cambridge, Laverne Atkinson, CKCO TV News.
Cleaning up the environment has become the challenge of the decade and a personal crusade for some. Tricia McDonald has been building her repertoire of household tips for many years, and she's got some simple ways to help everyone become more responsible.
Tricia McDonald's entire lifestyle is devoted to protecting the environment.
I use cleaning, to clean the sink, I use baking soda, and you just need a little sprinkle in it, and cloth that can be relaundered rather than the disposable ones. It's also good for tea stains or any stains at all. It'll take them right off.
Tricia uses no harsh chemicals. Vinegar diluted with water is used to clean glasses, and there's biodegradable soap for the dishes.
These are the cloth bags that I use when I go and get my groceries. And inside I take back my egg cartons, which are cardboard and not styrofoam, and I reuse them. And any of my containers and my plastic bags, and what I do is I come home with my products and put them in jars, label the jars, and then take back my plastic bags to the store where I reuse them again and bring them back home again.
Tricia reuses envelopes and refuses to buy anything with styrofoam.
This is a bag that I carry with me everywhere I go, and in it contains my coffee mug and my utensils. And when I go to a restaurant, I ask them to fill my coffee mug if they're using styrofoam cups, and if they refuse, I just leave.
There are more than 50 things Tricia McDonald does to help the environment she loves. It's a love that began early in life.
I had parents that were very aware, and we were taught to walk in the woods and not litter and appreciate trees and nature, and I just sort of followed along through my life with that and wanted my children to be brought up the same way, to respect nature and to put back into it what we take out.
Today, that means having a catalytic converter on the fireplace to prevent emissions from entering the air, composting all perishable garbage, and using lint nets over drainage hoses. Tricia says that what she's doing takes very little effort, but the results are impressive. She can't remember the last time she put out a bag of garbage.
When we come back, one great-looking weather forecast.
Come along for a whirlwind tour of Acton, Canada's leather town. Look, Ontario's incredible from up here. Ah, leather town, high in the hills of Halton. Well, hello, Mr. Jagger. A living elf he is. The Wild West lives on at Leathertown's West Warehouse. And Flightline. Is it a flying museum in a leather store or a leather store in a flying museum? The answer is yes. Oh, my.
Thanks.
Beginner's luck. And, of course, the Old Hide House. It's Canada's largest leather store, an acre of leather fashions, furniture, and gifts. This place is huge. And it's home to my modest establishment, Jack Tanner's Table. Canada's leather town, as old as myself. Come and explore.
Well,
incredible. What's that line?
It's worth the drive to Acton.
That's it.
The only way we could improve BF Goodrich TA tires was to add a piece of plastic. Introducing the High Performance Card. With National Road Hazard Protection and more, it comes in handy down the road. Available at participating BF Goodrich tire dealers.
Remember, only one bite.
Even an actor
Cut!
can't resist taking another bite
Cut!
of a Stuart Swiss roll. And now Stuart Swiss rolls come in 3 flavors. Original chocolate with creamy filling, new luscious chocolate mousse, and scrumptious cherry. All covered with a rich chocolatey coating and light as air.
Action.
So, will Stuart Swiss rolls be 3 times as hard to resist? Stuart Swiss rolls, now more than ever, resistance is futile.
Well, we could see some fog rolling in after midnight tonight and lasting throughout the wee hours of the morning until the sun comes back tomorrow afternoon to burn it off and give us another pleasant day with temperatures around 20 degrees. We've been under the influence of a large area of high pressure, which is now situated over western New York and spreading its influence back into most of Ontario, giving us basically fair skies for this whole weekend and also into Monday afternoon as well. But by Tuesday, we'll see a bit of a change happening. Not too much, about a 20% chance of some showers as a warm, moist air mass starts to move towards us. It'll just sort of brush past our area, giving us a chance of some showers overnight tonight, perhaps by dawn. But more likely, we'll be just seeing some fog developing from that system. As it moves through, we'll be into the warm air mass for about a day or two. And then by Thursday, as the cold front starts to move in, the weather will be a little bit more unsettled. We'll have about a 50% chance of showers by the middle or the latter half of the week. But temperatures will remain on the mild side. Let's have a look at some of the readings across the country today. It was mild across the prairies all the way up to 25 in Regina. Slightly cooler as you head farther west. 24 in the Rockies and Denver. Eastern Canada was the cool spot with only 5 degrees in Halifax and 6 in St. John's. 16 in Montreal. Washington and New York City 18 this afternoon. As we head down the coast, 21 a common reading from Chicago all the way to Atlanta, and down in southern Florida, 27 degrees. It's a pretty good day there today. Thunderstorms in Winnipeg this afternoon, which could be moving into northern Ontario overnight tonight in the form of showers. And as you can see, that is spreading some cloud into northern Ontario already this afternoon and into the central regions. So across much of central Ontario this afternoon, there were some overcast skies. In the southern part, generally clear though. Radar nice and clear, and that shouldn't change at least for another day day or so, as we're not expecting any shower activity, any real chance of it, perhaps until the middle part of the week. For tomorrow morning, it will be clear for the whole part, but there is a possibility of some fog still around first thing in the morning, as it will develop after midnight tonight because of this very moist air that's coming into our region. Temperatures across Ontario this afternoon about 10 degrees better than they were yesterday, 20 degrees in Barrie this afternoon, Toronto at 21, 17 in Brantford, and 18 in Hamilton. Here's our forecast then for tonight. There'll be a few clouds with fog developing after midnight and a chance of a shower near dawn. Low tonight about 6 degrees. Then tomorrow it'll be generally sunny across most of Ontario with some cloudy periods in the afternoon. High of about 19 to 23 in the southwest. And the 3-day outlook for Tuesday, partly cloudy skies. Same thing on Wednesday. Thursday, some showers, and temperatures will remain right around 20 or 21 degrees. So all in all, it looks like we've got some nice growing weather on its way with the showers and the mild temperatures. There should be lots of nice flowers and trees and grass around for the next few days.
And it sounds like a lovely Monday to wake up to for a change.
For sure.
Thanks, Olaf. Stay with us. Sports is next.
Hello, I'm Murray Donnette. At Donnette Jewelers, you'll find beautiful special anniversary rings. Choose from eternity rings or anniversary rings with diamonds and colored gems. Select one you like or let us custom make one for you. Tell her you're glad you married her with an eternity ring from Donnette Jewelers. We're the people with the diamond difference.
Donnette Jewelers, King Street West in Kitchener.
7 o'clock, start the day. 8, drop Tommy off at daycare. 10:30, board meeting. 5:30, keep fit. 7 p.m., meet Eric at Home Interiors Promenade. We both have demanding careers. That's why Eric and I shop here. No more running around all over town from store to store for us. Exciting decorating ideas, color, selection, quality, and convenience. It's all here in 18 stores under one roof.
Home Interiors Promenade, Highway 24, north of the 401 Cambridge.
It all starts here.
The price, the service, the satisfaction at Parkway Ford. Great motoring starts with a great dealership, and Parkway Ford has what it takes to make you feel like a million. Attentive, knowledgeable people, a great selection, on-the-spot financing, modern facilities, and reliable service professionals. It all adds up to an outstanding combination. That's Parkway Ford, King North in Waterloo, just south of the Parkway.
Every time someone chooses natural gas, the guys at Venture's Pond seem to sing a little louder. You can help the environment by choosing cleaner, friendlier natural gas. Call for your free booklet.
NHL playoff action on two fronts tonight. In the Norris Division Final, the St. Louis Blues scored with 9 seconds remaining to beat Chicago 5-4 and take a 2-1 lead in the best-of-7 series. Gino Cavallini got the game winner. Just 18 seconds into the game, Dave Manson will fall down. Brett Hull gives it to Sergio Momesso, who beats Greg Millen, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. Then, at the 2:12 mark of period 1, Doug Wilson. He tees off from the point, and this game is all tied up at a goal apiece. Then, late in the period, off the face-off, Brett Hull with a gun to beat Millen, and it's 2-0 St. Louis after 20 minutes of play. Second period now, Jeremy Roenick centers to Dave Manson in the slot, and it's even at 2 goals apiece. But at the 10-minute mark of the second, St. Louis on the power play. Jeff Brown beats Millen on the short side, 3-2 St. Louis after 40 minutes. In the third now, a great individual effort coming up by Steve Thomas. He is on the ice, but somehow wraps it around, and it's 4-3 Chicago in front. But back come the Blues at the 4:36 mark. Gord Roberts unloads in rush hour traffic, and it's tied at 4 goals apiece. With 9 seconds left in the game, watch this. The Blues' Jeff Brown shoots. Gino Cavallini spins around and scores the game winner. St. Louis over Chicago, 5-4, the final. Now the Blues lead that series 2-1. In the Smythe division, the Edmonton Oilers took their commanding lead over the Kings into Los Angeles, up 2-0. Here is partial highlights now from Inglewood. The LA Kings, with their first shot on goal, puts them on the board. The drop pass is Thomas Sandstrom. He beats Bill Ranford, and it's 1-0 LA. The Oilers tie the game with their first shot on goal. Craig Simpson dekes out Ron Scott, and it's 1-1. And the Kings will regain the lead as Larry Robinson strips Craig Simpson of the puck, moves in and beats Bill Ranford. It's 2-1 Los Angeles. 11 seconds later, Todd Elliott gives the Kings a 3-1 lead after 20 minutes. The Kings had outshot the Oilers 13-1 to that point. They are now midway through the second period, and the Edmonton Oilers have come back to tie at 3. That score not quite correct. It's now 3-3 in the third period. Going into tonight's game, Edmonton took a 2-0 lead. Looking ahead now to the other two series. Tomorrow night is Game 3 of the Boston-Montreal series. The Bruins move to the Forum with a 2-game lead. The Patrick Division final is tied at 1. The Rangers move to the Cap Center now in Maryland for Games 2 and 3 starting tomorrow night. Game 3 and 4, that is, starting tomorrow night. It was an electric night at the World Hockey Championship in Switzerland. Canada's power play struck for 3 goals, and a thunderstorm caused a power failure that interrupted play. In the end, Canada had zapped Czechoslovakia 5-3. With the win, Canada gains a share of first place with Sweden at 5-0. Other games, the U.S. over West Germany by a score of 6-3. The Sweden, beat the Soviet Union 3-1. Norway and Finland tied at 3. Now to the OHL Championship final in Oshawa tonight. The Kitchener Rangers have beaten Oshawa 2-1. Shane Stevenson got the game winner with 23 seconds left in the game. Stevenson played despite a broken finger. They now lead that series 2-1. Game 4 goes Tuesday in Kitchener. Locally in OHL Junior B Best of 7 finals, Stratford beat St. Catharines 9-4 to take a 1-game lead in the series. Rob LeBlanc scored 4 for the Culletons. Well, the saying, "we're not going to take it anymore," applies to the Kansas City Royals. After being hammered in the first 2 games by the Toronto Blue Jays, the Royals return the favor this afternoon with a 7-1 victory, averting a sweep by the Jays, who outscored the Royals 22-7 in the previous 2 games. Tom Gordon picked up the win. John Cerruti was tagged with the loss. First inning action from the Sky Dome with Kevin Seitzer on first. Bo Jackson takes John Cerruti for a ride to deep left field. It's gone. George Bell waves a goodbye, and it's 2-0 Kansas City. In the second, Willie Wilson on second. Bob Boone punches one up the middle. Wilson scores on the play. However, Boone is tagged out sliding into second, and it's 3-0. In the third, the Royals continue to run up the score. Jim Eisenreich launches one to right center. It's gone. 4-0 Kansas City. A couple of bright spots for the Blue Jays. Tony Fernandez extended his hitting streak to 12 games with a single in the 5th inning. In the 6th inning, George Bell gets all of this pitch by Tom Gordon. Adios, amigos. That put the Jays on the board, trailing by a score of 4-1. In the 7th, the Royals close the door as Jim Eisenreich singles to left field. That allows Willie Wilson and Bob Boone to score. This coming off Frank Wills. The Royals go on to down Toronto 7-1. The Indians now come to town for a 4-game set. Mike Flanagan will be on the mound for Toronto in the curtain raiser. John Farrell pearls for Cleveland. Game time is 7:30. In Baltimore, the Tigers' Mike Henneman walked in the winning run with the bases loaded in the 12th, giving the Orioles a 3-2 victory. Cleveland 5-2 winners over Chicago. California, the same count over Minnesota. In Milwaukee, Boston down the Brewers 4-2 in 11 innings. Jody Reed singled home 2 runs, that is the winning run, with 2 out in the 11th. It was Texas all over the Yankees. 10-4, the Rangers scored 5 in the 8th inning. Seattle over Oakland 5-2, the final. In the National League, the New York Mets, behind the strong pitching of Sid Fernandez, blanked the Montreal Expos 5-0, giving the Mets consecutive victories for the first time this season. Fernandez threw a 2-hitter. Keith Miller did most of the damage, hitting a 2-run homer. Checking other scores from the National League this afternoon, Philadelphia over St. Louis 5-3. The Phillies sweep that 3-game series. It was Pittsburgh 3-2 winners over Chicago. The Atlanta Braves halted a 7-game losing skid with a 3-1 win over Cincinnati, and at the same time ended the Reds' 9-game winning streak. The Dodgers blanked Houston 2-0. San Francisco 3-1 winners over San Diego. In AA Eastern League action, the London Tigers dropped both games of a doubleheader to the Albany Yankees. Well, this week's PGA stop was the Greater Greensboro Open in North Carolina. Steve Elkington will remember the Greensboro for a long time to come. He won the event, recording his first ever PGA victory. Elkington finished 2 shots ahead of Jeff Sluman and Mike Reed. Taking a look at the scoreboard, it was Steve Elkington at -6, Jeff Sluman and Mike Reed at -4, followed by Paul Azinger, Mike Colbert, Fred Couples, and the 2 Canadians, Ray Stewart at +3 and Dave Barr at +5. We are back with the seniors golf story and more after this.
These days, it seems your money won't stretch as far as it used to, unless you go to Dairy Queen. For a limited time, you can get our home-style double burger for just $1.59. 2 big beef patties, juicy and delicious. So try the $1.59 home-style double burger at Dairy Queen and see just how far your money will stretch.
We treat you right.
Through thick and thin, the Nissan Sentra can take just about anything you can throw at it, including compliments. The Nissan Sentra, winner of the CAA Award for Reliability. But wait, it gets better. Get air conditioning and stereo at no extra charge.
In Canada, one and only one beer is brewed longer using the exclusive dry brew process. The end result is Molson Special Dry. A beer that starts bold, finishes clean, and leaves no aftertaste. Molson Special Dry, the evolution of beer.
A car has to be serviced properly. It has to be maintained properly. And at Goodyear, we do that.
Mark Haynes is a tune-up specialist for Goodyear.
We do engine diagnosis, we do fuel injection, we do electronics diagnosis, we do tune-ups, we do brakes, we do suspension work. We don't just do tires anymore.
The Goodyear Diagnostic Tune-Up, signed, sealed, and certified by Goodyear.
We know what we're doing, we get the job done, and we stand behind it. That's what Goodyear Certified Auto Service means.
Still with golf, Charles Coody and Dale Douglas ran away with the legends of golf in Austin, Texas. They coasted to a 7-shot victory.
Charles Coody and Dale Douglas had it together all weekend. Look at Coody on the 6th hole with this approach shot. They began the day at 33 under par. This shot moved them to 36 under. Then his partner, Dale Douglas. This is the 11th hole, and approach shots simply don't come any better than this one. They moved to 37 under there. There were some other talented teams. How about Chichi Rodriguez, who paired with Dave Hill? They finished in 4th place at 29 under par, including that birdie on 15. And the gallery in Austin, Texas certainly loved Chichi's act and the outstanding golf. We moved to 18. Harold Henning in a rather dangerous situation, but a marvelous recovery. Henning, who paired with Al Geiberger, finished the day in 2nd place at 32 under par. A rather bizarre ending, though. While Coody was hitting the tournament-winning putt, Dave Hill's caddy was chasing Hill's putter, which he threw into the lake. Anyway, Coody and Douglas shattered a tournament record by 10 strokes by going 39 under par. Dale Douglas and Charles Coody win the Liberty Legends of Golf Tournament.
Geez, I've never thrown my golf clubs anywhere. Well, in the NBA tonight, this just in, the LA Clippers have fired Coach Don Casey in a surprise move. On the court, the regular season came to an end. The Detroit Pistons head into the playoffs on a winning note, beating Chicago 111-106.
A possible preview of the Eastern Conference Finals in Detroit today. Watch the Pistons run the break on the Bulls, and with some nice passing, Joe Dumars will get the lay-in. Dumars was 17. Detroit held a lead through much of the first half. Dumars will get it to Dennis Rodman for the running one-hander. Rodman had 12 points. Chicago cut a 6-point halftime deficit to 1 at the end of the third. Scottie Pippen gets the alley-oop off the inbounds to make it 75-74. And it was a 3-point game in the fourth when John Sally followed up the free throw miss with the dunk to put Detroit up 104-99. But the Bulls came back to grab a 106-105 lead with inside of a minute to go. That's when Bill Laimbeer hit the baseline jumper to put the Pistons up for good with 25 seconds to go. They go on to win it 111-106. The Pistons will face Indiana in the first round of the playoffs, while the Bulls will take on Milwaukee.
Well, this was draft day in the NFL. As expected, Illinois quarterback Jeff George was the #1 pick. He was chosen by Indianapolis, who signed him to a 6-year, $15 million deal. Indianapolis had acquired the top pick from Atlanta. Here's a look at the top 9 picks from the draft and what the Buffalo Bills picked up. In auto racing, Al Unser Jr. held off a tenacious Emerson Fittipaldi to win his 3rd straight Grand Prix of Long Beach in California.
The opening of the Grand Prix of Long Beach. 25 cars began the race on a sunny day in Southern California. On that opening lap, Teo Fabi is trailing Emerson Fittipaldi. He tried to pass, but he spinned out instead. It was all Al Unser Jr. on this day. He led 91 of the 95 laps. Unser's Chevrolet averaged 84.227 miles per hour. This was his 3rd consecutive Grand Prix win, and it's worth a whopping $143,000. Emerson Fittipaldi was 2nd, and Danny Sullivan was 3rd.
In stock car racing, Brett Bodine was a winner for the first time on the NASCAR circuit. Bodine held off Darrell Waltrip to win an event in North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. We are back after this.
Change the world. We just want to change your oil.
Remember, only 1 bite.
Even an actor can't resist taking another bite of a Stuart Swiss roll. And now Stuart Swiss rolls come in 3 flavors. Original chocolate with creamy filling, new luscious chocolate mousse, and scrumptious cherry. All covered with a rich chocolatey coating and light as air.
Action.
So, will Stuart Swiss rolls be 3 times as hard to resist? Stuart Swiss rolls, now more than ever, resistance is futile.
Wait, should I send in my return without that other receipt? I'll call the tax office and find out. It probably won't be there. Oh, maybe they will.
Revenue Canada Taxation, may I help you?
You're there.
We work a little later this time of year.
At tax time, we know you have questions, so Revenue Canada extends our telephone inquiry service beyond normal work hours.
If you include all of your information slips and required receipts together.
Oh, better call them and get a copy. No, they won't be there. Maybe they won't
People
be
with answers. Revenue Canada Taxation.
Okay, 30 seconds or we eat the pizza.
If you want a car that really delivers, test the new front-wheel drive Samara from Lada. And when the going gets even tougher, the tougher get the new Niva 4x4. The new Lada lineup, 3-door, 5-door, 4x4, and wagon, all under $10,000.
When you've been burning the candle at both ends and can't get to sleep, turn occasional sleeplessness into sleep with Nitol Single Trusted Ingredient and wake up feeling well-rested and alert. Nitol.
In tonight's entertainment, we'll talk with Billy Joel about his music and the success he's had with his latest album. First, though, here's Dr. Dean Adele with his medical report.
This is a man's world.
Staying healthy usually involves changing your habits, but some things are a little harder to change, like your sex. Let's face it, women have it a lot harder in a man's world, and according to some new research, that may affect their mental health. Italian doctors gave tests looking for personality disorders to a closely matched group of men and women. Lo and behold, women had higher rates in 11 out of 13 categories.
Now, before you accuse me of being some kind of a chauvinist, let me add some caveats. First of all, the reason for the findings could be very simple. Women may be more likely to report things like depression than their typically repressed male counterparts. Then again, all you men, imagine yourself trying to survive and strive in a world dominated by the opposite sex. That's got to take a toll on your mental health. And one more thing, men did outscore women in 2 important areas.
Although we usually think of women as the vain ones, it turns out men were more prone to show narcissistic behavior. Males also scored higher on antisocial behavior. The findings go against current textbook descriptions of what are typical male and female personality disorders. It doesn't mean the differences aren't there. They just may not be what we once thought. I'm Dr. Dean Dell.
Good evening, I'm Nancy McKellar. In entertainment, Billy Joel has never completely left the music scene since he first broke into it in the early 70s with The Piano Man. But lately, he's been enjoying a new round of success with his hit album, Stormfront. Stormfront's thundering success on the music charts has given Billy Joel a new high.
The album I did before this one, The Bridge, wasn't a lot of fun to make. It was kind of a drag. So I had to ask myself before I did this last album, why am I doing this? Am I on a treadmill? Am I doing it because I have to do it? Why am I doing this in the first place? Why am I making records? Why am I writing music? Why? And the answer is because it was fun. I remember the first gig I had that decided me to go into the business. I got up on stage. I was about 14 or 15 and played this church dance. All of a sudden, this girl I was crazy about looked at me for the first time. She's looking at me, and then I got paid at the end of the night. I was having fun playing with these other guys, and the priest gave us $5. Hey, that was it. It was a gas. I talked to other songwriters and other writers. A lot of times what we think is inspiration, this is my theory, something comes on you really quick. You think, oh, I got to write this down. And it comes out. It's almost like you had nothing to do with it. It just comes out the end of the pencil. And you go, hey, this is great. It comes easy. And it's usually the better songs. I don't think that they just came out of the blue. I happen to think that they're dreams that have reoccurred.
For Billy, making music is more than just what he does for a living. His songs are a part of him.
I like my kids because I've gone through a pregnancy, so to speak. This is just, a metaphor I'm doing here. I don't mean physically, but emotionally and spiritually. I feel like I've been pregnant with a song, and I've had childbirth and labor, and there it is. And there's a song, and I did that. I made that up. And some of them go off to be doctors and lawyers and Indian chiefs, and some of them turn out to be bums. That's the way kids are, but they're still my children. Somebody will ask me, what's your favorite song? It's like asking me to pick my favorite kid. How do you pick your favorite kid? One day you like one a little better than the other because he behaved a little better,
And that's it for entertainment. We'll be right back.
Uphill starts with a standard transmission can be very difficult for some people. So when you find yourself in that situation with your new Subaru Legacy, you probably won't be thinking about the 130 horsepower, 16 valves, or four-wheel disc brakes. But you just might remember that Subarus are the only cars in the world with the hill holder, a small clutch-activated brake that prevents rollback on uphill starts. To test drive the 1990 sedan of the year, visit your local Subaru dealer.
When the stars are yours to own, when the moon is yours alone, and your only loves you only, it couldn't get better than this. When the morning sun makes all the world anew, and your true love shares a secret just with you, and you know that there is heaven in a kiss, it couldn't get better than this.
You've got to have the equipment, you've got to have the training in order to properly fix the car.
Robert Taggart is a tune-up specialist for Goodyear.
Well, this computer, by hooking the leads up onto your engine, I can diagnose from everything from your battery straight back through to your fuel system. Check out every component, every piece to make sure it's operating properly and working properly together.
The Goodyear Diagnostic Tune-Up. Signed, sealed, and certified by Goodyear.
I know exactly where the problem is, exactly where to go, and exactly what to do.
Canada's top business managers, they're not stuck in offices. They don't work 9 to 5. They don't even work downtown. They're here Canadian farmers using top management tools like new Lexone Toss and Go for weed control in soybeans. Lexone Toss and Go.
Got an update, Steve, on that Oilers-Kings game.
Yes, in the Smythe Division, game number 3, Edmonton is moved out in front of the LA Kings by a score of 5-3 in the second period. Now, the Kings had led 3-1 at one point.
This afternoon, of course, some exciting baseball. Not looking good on the Jays, of course, but hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Not bad at all, considering they scored a lot of runs this weekend, but could not pull too many in today. They lost 7-1.
Wish them luck on the next one. That's it for us tonight on the Ontario Report. On behalf of Ola Peinzel, Steve Young, and all the crew, thanks for watching. Good night.
Unsolved Mysteries, Monday at 8 on CKCO TV.
CKCO TV presents Viewpoint with Professor Ralph Blackmore.
I know this seems hardly the time with your tax returns due in the mailbox a week from tomorrow, but the Canadian Institute of Actuaries has completed a study which you should know about, even though it's going to raise the hair on your head. It reveals just how much must be saved in order to retire at age 65 with an income equal to 70% of one's final salary. Now, the figures are scary. A man of just 25 earning the average industrial salary must lay aside more than 10% of his before-tax income to reach the 70% goal. Now, if he waits till he's 40 to start saving, the figure zooms to over 16%, or very nearly 1/6 of his entire income. Now, one helpful thing the study does is remind us of the tremendous advantages of saving via tax shelters. Most notably, of course, the Registered Retirement Savings Plans, RRSPs, which allow savings to accumulate without being taxed. But one must still save a great deal, for Canadians are going to be getting less and less help from the federal government through the Old Age Security Plan. And the reason for this, the Institute says, is because the proportion of older people in Canada is steadily increasing. And as well, there are also concerns about mounting costs for other areas of government activity. What it boils down to, the actuaries say, is that there are simply more and more demands on the government and consequently less money available for the retired. You know, the days when Ottawa could be counted on for a pretty fair share of retirement income, according to the Institute, are disappearing, and it is becoming more and more necessary for us to assume a greater personal responsibility for our own retirement incomes. I'm Ralph Blackmore.
Viewpoint, a weekly feature on CKCO TV, expresses the personal opinions of its host, Professor Ralph Blackmore.